morning all. Hope you're doing well, hope you're staying safe. It's Saturday, May the 9th. News from yesterday includes US cases of coronavirus down slightly yesterday. Florida cases down quite a bit yesterday. Disney World resorts now only taking reservations from July the 1st. But what wasn't said on their website yesterday was if you have an existing reservation between June the 1st and June the 30th, that still stands at the moment. Disney Parks carried out a survey of some people yesterday. I'm an annual pass holder, I didn't get one, but I've got some of that for you. SeaWorld carried out an extensive survey of some of its pass holders. Again, I'm a pass holder, I didn't get one, but I've got that. I've got you the Shanghai Disneyland video. It's about 3 minutes long that shows what park operations is going to be like. This is really well worth a watch. It's a vision of what's to come in America, I believe. So please have a look at that and then comment on what you think is going to happen over here with that. But I think that's where we're going to get to. Other news, smaller news. Orange County's curfew is to be lifted on Monday. That's been in place since March the 20th. And barber shops, God help us, nail salons and hairdressers are to be reopened from Monday. So DeSantis finally caved. I thought that was going to be in phase 2. He's caved. Before we get to the news, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you'll get this news 6 days a week. Probably not tomorrow unless something big happens today that I'm not aware of yet. Yep, so subscribe, hit the notification bell, you'll get this 6 days a week. Okay, let's go to the news. US cases yesterday was 29,162, which is slightly lower than Thursday. The number of cases in Florida yesterday was 371, which is the lowest for 9 days. Walt Disney World is now accepting reservations for its resorts only after July the 1st. I tried to make a dummy reservation for a date in June and it wouldn't allow me to do so. Resorts, however, are showing up from July the 1st. I took this screenshot this morning, which is my reservation for June the 1st. I called Walt Disney World about this and they said that although they weren't taking reservations for dates until July the 1st, my reservation was still valid. They also said they couldn't make any modifications to this reservation until it was cancelled by Disney. Following Universal Orlando's survey this week, Disney Parks followed up with their own yesterday. This asked people a range of questions from where did they live to what was their willingness to stay at Disney in July, how they intended to travel to Disney World, what financial commitment they'd already made to Disney, when they'd need to be notified by Disney that they were open for business, which factors would make them cancel their Disney visit, a question about current personal finances, one about how much planning went into a Disney trip, and finally a question about the guests' willingness to participate in a number of events from now to more than 6 months from now. Not to be left out, SeaWorld also sent out a survey very recently, aimed at American residents. It asked people about their age, their sex, whether they have children, which SeaWorld park they visit most often, when the responders' last visit was, the date of their last visit, the current state of their county or state. With the soft questions out of the way, the survey then turned to COVID-19 issues. How concerned are you about the coronavirus? And then a series of questions on the same theme, which was how long would it take for people to feel safe while undertaking a range of activities. Following that was a specific question about if the guest would visit SeaWorld or Busch Gardens this summer, and a simple yes/no about whether the guest would feel safe in visiting SeaWorld, again when the park reopens. There were then more questions about how soon the guest would visit the parks. The remaining questions revolved around park operations such as capacity, social distancing and cleanliness. The final question was about further communication from SeaWorld. A video was released by Shanghai Disneyland showing how its resort would reopen and park operations within it. This video follows now and has English subtitles.
为确保游客和演职人员的健康与安全，上海迪士尼乐园将实行提前预约制，控制每日入园游客量。游客必须在到访乐园前，通过上海迪士尼度假区官方线上渠道提前购买指定日门票，并获取上海迪士尼乐园预约。年卡持有人也必须提前预约入园期和时间，获取上海迪士尼乐园预约码。除上海迪士尼乐园预约码外，在入园时，您还需要携带这些物品。首先，政府签发的有效身份证件原件，不接受电子件或复印件。其次，入园当天生成的健康防疫码绿码。最后， 所有游客在上海迪士尼度假区游玩期间必须全程佩戴口罩，仅用餐时除外。当您准备进入上海迪士尼度假区时，首先会经过健康检查点，请遵循现场演职人员的指引和地面上的标识，保持适当的安全距离。从这个检查点起，始终佩戴好口罩。在该检查点，您将会被要求通过体温检测账本，您的体温需低于37.3摄氏度，方能进入度假区。出示防疫健康码绿码之后，您将前往安全检查点的排队区，请在此出示您的上海迪士尼乐园预约码，并继续保持安全距离。在安检处，请展示您所携带的包袋内的物品。在您抵达检票闸机口时，请出示同行的所有游客的有效身份证件，用于预订门票的身份证件需与现场出示的身份证件保持一致。进入乐园后，绝大部分景点、游乐项目、娱乐演出以及商店和餐厅将在控制客容量的基础上运营。在园内每个景点游玩时，请在排队时保持安全距离。在入座时，与非同行游客之间留出一个空位。针对单个乘骑设备较小的游乐设施，每辆设备上仅限同行游客搭乘。请在每个景点的出口处使用免洗消毒洗手液。迪士尼朋友仍然会与大家见面，但将稍作调整，确保安全距离。在餐厅就餐时，请选择未放置提示卡的餐桌就坐，提示卡表示该餐桌应保持空桌。在商店购物时，请仅触碰您想要购买的商品，且我们建议您采用无接触支付方式。一天游玩结束后，请有序离园。若您需要丢弃使用过的口罩，乐园和度假区各处都设有废弃口罩专用垃圾桶。期待下一个在迪士尼的神奇一天吧。
In other news, Orange County's curfew, which began on March the 20th, will be lifted on Monday. Finally, barber shops, hair salons and nail salons will be able to open from Monday also. So US cases and Florida cases both down very, very slightly. Well, Florida down quite a bit actually. DeSantis had a press conference yesterday at a nursing home, a long-term care facility. So he's doing that for a purpose. That's where his focus is right now, to try and stop cases happening in long-term care facilities. So I can see cases hopefully going down further if he can get that under absolute control. The Disney Parks survey and the SeaWorld survey, well, the SeaWorld survey actually came out like 3 or 4 days ago, and I didn't see it, and it's not been widely publicised, but it's quite extensive. The Walt Disney World survey was obviously shared quite widely, even though it only came out yesterday. But they go along the same lines as the Universal Orlando Resort, and they both want to know what are people's feelings about going to the park, what will make them go back to the parks, what will stop them going back to the parks. So I hope they've got some good information coming out of that. Now, one of the questions in the Disney survey was surrounding July the 1st. So is July the 1st now when they're looking at reopening their theme parks? As I said in the opening, I've still got my reservation for June the 1st at Port Orleans. That's not been cancelled yet. When I was on the phone with them this morning, they said I couldn't modify that reservation. I could cancel it, but I couldn't modify it. So that's interesting. I don't know why I couldn't. I think it's probably because they're still thinking that there's a chance they can open on June the 1st, and they don't want empty resorts if they do. Maybe I'm going to be one of the few that are there if they do open on June the 1st. Who knows, right? We'll have to see. I think I'm going to get more news by Wednesday. I asked them if they were going to do this rolling closure, rolling cancellation, and they said they couldn't tell me. So I'll just have to wait till Wednesday and see. The Shanghai Disneyland video, really, really interesting for me. This, I think, is how we're going to see Disney World setting up, partially for its resorts, i.e. temperature checks before you go in, government ID, whether that's going to be Florida resident, other state driver's license or something, some picture ID, and when international people start coming back in, passports. I think that's the only way that that's going to work. Masks all day long in the parks, absolutely. Social distancing on rides, wiping down those rides, distancing on tables in restaurants and outside, cashless payment so you don't have to hand anything over. I don't know whether you can still put a card in a machine and that's counted as a contactless payment. I don't know. I really don't have any other way of paying, to be honest, so that would have to work for me. And then the mask bins when you come out of the park, although I don't know how many people are going to have like throwaway masks and how many people at that point will have washable masks that you can reuse. Orange County curfew, I guess it's time for that to happen. On March the 20th to now is quite a long time. They've been under curfew from 11 PM to 5 AM, so that's good. And then the barber shops, nail salons and hair salons reopening. I've voiced my opinions on this before. I really don't know how that's going to work. I guess that the hairdresser, barber, nail person is going to wear gloves and is going to have a mask on, and that you as the client are also going to have to wear a mask. Is that enough? I don't know. It stops people breathing on you, I suppose. Does it stop the contact with the virus? Surgical masks don't. You need an N95. So I don't know how many people are going to be in those shops on Monday. I really could do with a haircut. I might wait a little while before I do that and see how other people are reacting to that and what the news is on that. So that's the news. I hope you enjoyed that video. I think that was well worthwhile. I may be back tomorrow if something happens today. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here on Monday. Have a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day to those that are celebrating Mother's Day. And I'll see you Monday. Cheers for now. Bye-bye.